Hey guys, you have McGann, and today I'm trying to make some new wall art for a room I just remodeled, and I found this design that I really like of Toothless with the Light Fury. I love this yin-yang pattern. I just think it's really cute, and the person who made this image, I guess it's the Double O Doodles over here, they have this all over the internet on different shirts, but there's no like SVG image I can buy. So since this is for personal use only, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to kind of take this and use it as my own. Okay, first I'm clicking on this image here from Rebubble so that I can get this as large as possible. Then I'm going to screenshot it. On a Mac, that's Command-Shift-3. On a PC, you might have to go through some extra steps. Now I'm going to go over to my Finder, and I know where this stuff saves, so I'm going to open with Adobe Photoshop CS5. You can use any program you want that will edit and crop down photos, so don't worry if you don't have Photoshop. I know it's kind of expensive. And I'm just going to crop it out to where I have the dragons and some white left over, and we're just going to save. Yep, okay. See, it's right here in my save files, just like I want it. And now I'm going to go over to this website called vectormagic.com. This is a pay site. There are tons of other vector SVG places you can go to. Just Google around and find one that works for you. Otherwise, this one is, I think, $10 a month. And this takes a while to load, so I've already got it loaded up here. But the neat thing about this is that you can see it's taken all these different tones and shades and made it to just the 4 different image colors. We have the black, the gray, the red, and the white. And you can see if you go over to the color section, click on customs, you can go to change, and I can go back and add in every single shading color if I want to, but I just want to stick with the 4. I could just go down to black and white if I really wanted to, but then I lose some details in Toothless that I want, like the wingspan and his eyes and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna do that. Actually, how do I back out of here? And because this is going to be a vinyl cut that I'm going to put on my wall, I'm going to be using Oracle 651, and so the detail level is going to be low. You're going to go over to download results, download SVG, you're going to save it however you need it, and then you're going to take it back over to Design Space. But let's say I'm broke right now and I can't do this. Well, I would go find another website to do similar things that I wanted to do for free, or I could play with it in Photoshop until I got a JPG or PNG file that I liked. And because I'm pretty broke, I did kind of play with it myself and figure out how to get a JPG file. So I just have this small problem with the gap in her nose, so I'm just going to go through, fill that in real quick, make it a black line, and I'm just going to save it, no big deal. Now, assuming you're a cheapo or broco like me, and you've had to make this with a JPG sort of fiddling around in a photo editing software program, let me show you what to do this with a JPG or a PNG file that doesn't have a clear background. We're just gonna upload the image. We're gonna take out all the pieces we don't want. I did have to go in when I was editing things and sort of draw a little black line here, because otherwise when I click in the center, it takes all the white out of my dragon, and that's not what I want. So let me back up some. All right, that looks pretty good to me, but oh yeah, I almost forgot. We're gonna hit continue, and as you can see, we run into a problem now because it's either a print then cut, which requires a special vinyl, which as far as I know, there are no vinyls like that you can put on your wall, or it's a save as a cut image, which looks awful. So we're gonna go back and we're actually gonna go through and take out all the Toothless bits. And there is still some outline of Toothless, which I don't want to leave behind, so I'm just gonna erase it here as best I can. I'm sure I'll get some little spray backs, I guess. I don't know the proper term. I'll get some little errors in here when I'm printing. I'm sure it'll upset my Cricut a little bit. And with my Light Fury here, I'm not too worried about the black lines not being taken out like it is here in the wing. Okay, now we're gonna go continue. Oops, hold on. I see one little thing I forgot to take out. We do need to take out the eyes on the skull, and I am going to take out her eyes just so I know exactly where to put the eyes when I print this all out. I'm going to save this as Light Fury Yin Yang. Save. All right, when it saves, if it saves, there we go. Now I'm going to go through, do the same thing again, except this time I'm going to be taking out the Light Fury side of things, and as you can see, the black outline is sticking around beautifully, so I don't have to worry about that. And here's where you have to make some decisions, because if I want to keep the details in Toothless, I'm going to have to go through and whoa. So as you saw, that took away my whole Toothless. So what I want to do to not do that, so that I have the black versus this sort of grayish color here, go to Advanced Options under Select and Erase. And namely, you're going to want to turn the color tolerance down so that way it knows kind of more of what you want. So that's how the black's going to print. We're going to save it as a cut image. Then we're going to do this whole thing again a few more times. Now it reset my options, so it took away my whole Night Fury. See, it's automatically set to 16 on mine, so I'm just going to turn this back down to 4. And then that way I can just cherry pick out the black lines. And yeah, I want to get this, all the black details out that I can get, because that's just going to make it easier on me moving forward. Don't need all this outline, so just a minute while I get all this erased. It'll take a few. This is definitely a labor of love. And I could leave these little lines here and just not peel them off, but I'm trying to save my machine a little bit of work if I can manage to get that to cooperate. Okay, I think I got it. See, I got a spot here and a spot here, and on the wing I need to clean up, so let's go back if I can find said spots. With these blue backgrounds, sometimes it can be really hard. There's that one. There's one. Really tiny spots, and it's like they act like they're so huge and noticeable. Let's see if I got them all now. All right, that looks pretty good. So we're gonna call this Night Fury 3, I think we're at now. All right, one last round to go. We're almost at the home stretch here. We're going to do this all one more time, but just for the sake of getting the red. And I guess the eyeballs and the skull, that too. So, lucky for me, that means we can take out huge chunks and then get the huge eraser and just get rid of almost everything else. Erase, go to the big size, and just get it all off here. Just be careful around Toothless's tail. All right, Night Fury tail part 4 here. And yes, now we're near the end. We can start inserting all these pieces. You can just hold down Shift and select everything at once, but I guess I decided to be extra. Now, okay, I've got a lot of pieces floating around and I don't exactly know what I'm doing with them, right? Okay, so let's fix that by changing some color schemes. This part I have selected is already black like I needed. Now, this part's supposed to be my Light Fury, so I want to go through, make her white. You just click on the little circle here that was black. Now she's a white Light Fury. Next, I've got the lighter color of Toothless, which I have a nice midnight blue for. So I'm just gonna make that gray so that it's really, really obvious on here. Don't worry, the color you select is not the color it's gonna print, but if you do have things selected different colors, they will not go on one sheet. When you go to print, the software is gonna force you to make a different mat for every sheet you're using. So just keep that in mind, but now I can line everything up, make sure everything is the way I want it. Come on, little Miss Light Fury, fit in the space. There we go. And we'll take the red tail piece. Okay, it all fits great. So now I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to select everything on the sides here, and I'm going to go to group it. So that way it all stays together as one piece no matter what piece I click on. So that's very, very handy. Now I've got to make it the size I want. And as you can see, this goes to a huge size, but keep in mind that your Cricut printer is limited to about a 12-inch wide cut. So if I wanted to make this 24-inch behemoth monster, I could do that. It'd just be a little bit difficult, but what I could do is go to Shapes, and what I would want to do is pick a shape that I could put over top of here and then splice the image in two, so that way I could break it up in two separate parts. The big problem you're gonna see with that in an image like this is that to do that, first I have to weld everything together, and once I weld everything together, I'm gonna lose all the color coding that I did. So I don't wanna do it in this case, but if I did, I would select something like square or maybe triangle, and then I'd blow it up until it went halfway through the image. Select the image, select the shape I have on top, click slice, and then I've sliced it and and cut it in two. But like I said, I don't want to do that, and I don't really need a gigantic dragon on my walls. I mean, not that big at least. So I'm gonna set this as close to 12 as it will let me. Looks like 12 by 12 is what it's gonna let me do, and then I'm gonna click on make it. See, it says image is too large, so I'm gonna make it just a little bit smaller because it does take off some on the sides, so it's a whole thing. And now you can see over here that the Cricut software has this sorted out by color. So now I know how many inches I need for each color, and it's easier for me to keep straight what's printing at what moment. So I know I want my midnight blue for this gray, I know I want my black for the black, white for the white, and so on. I hope that's been helpful. Once you hit continue, it's just going to tell you to load it one mat at a time. If you are doing this as a shirt transfer in HTV, make sure you mirror the image, but I'm going to cut everything out and then I'm going to do a separate tutorial for making it into a wall image. Wish me luck. I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.